3 things retreats have gifted me. So, as you may know, in-person immersions, this is how I call my retreats, is one of the most significant aspects of my work. It's one of the most powerful ways to work with me. And the reason why I love these retreats is because my personal life got really, really transformed specifically through retreats. And I want to share about those 3 things that I absolutely love about retreats and some of my biggest takeaways from retreats that I have attended and some of the greatest gifts of my life that came through that. So I want to speak about that and just connect with you from this space, because currently in my life there's just a tremendous unfoldment that's taking place. I feel like the lid was lifted and a tremendous amount of energy is pouring through me, for me, and for all the people who are working with me, for all the people in my field. So there are some tremendous things that are happening in the current program that I'm running, Embodied Wealth, in my close proximity containers, ISIS codes, and with my private clients. Like, there's just so much happening. It's like it just literally feels like the earth is shaking, everything is vibrating, and we are becoming ever more powerful, ever more beautiful, ever more deeply rooted in our service. So I wanted to come in here, and also as I am starting, I'm already going to Costa Rica next week, and we are starting this long awaited immersion already next Sunday. So that's why I wanted to pop in here and just in the anticipation of that also share this energy and share how incredibly important such retreats have been in my own life. Okay, so first thing is the space for me in every single retreat that I've taken, and I still take retreats every single year, because this is the way to really fully focus on me, nothing else but me. That's the time when I completely switch off all distractions. That's what also I'm going to be offering to my gorgeous women who are joining Costa Rica Mystery Immersion. I'll be inviting them to completely unplug, and they have been making the arrangements for that. And this alone is just so huge, where you just unplug. You're not available for the whole world. You are there with the greatest person of your life, with the biggest love of your life, which is you. So that's number one thing that was and has been and is just so precious, and one of the biggest gifts I received from retreats. Just full focus on me. And I remember in my very first retreat, it was a silent retreat where I was receiving teachings, I was doing practices, and just through these practices, through this work, and through this complete dedication to turning inwards, pieces of the puzzle of my life were falling into place. Things that just did not make sense in the past were suddenly all becoming a part of this one big, beautiful picture that is me. And lots of confusion that I had to navigate as a child. Lots of questions like, why is this happening to me? Why is this going on? Why did it happen like that? Why did this person react like this? Why did I have to go through it? This doesn't make any sense. Like, all those things were just becoming epiphanies. They were just all starting to make sense. It was just all finding space in my consciousness, and through this process of, I always see it as like you're being washed by light, because you are so close to spirit in this space. You are so close to the core of you, so you cannot help but just be washed by light. And this is the light of consciousness that's washing you, and that's the light of consciousness that shines in all the dark places where we've lost ourselves, where we've abandoned ourselves. And that's what I was experiencing in that very first retreat, so directly, so profoundly, that I just felt that this light was shining on me, and I just, I was becoming I need to just block someone because I'm disturbed by these comments. Done. You don't come with weird energy into my lives, okay? Done. So, where was I? So this light was just washing me and making me making me more true, making me more pure. That's what happens when we turn inwards, unplug from everything, release all distractions, just fully focus on ourselves. So that's number one gift, and it's priceless, 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 because when we are busy with our own lives, when we need to take care of others, when we need to take care of our businesses, of our work, of our commitments, and there are lots of things to do, lots of things on our mind, it's like even if we do some nourishing things for ourselves every single day, which is essential, still this kind of dedicated time, it's just, there's nothing like it. It's just, the second thing is that this becomes extremely nourishing, like so nourishing. After every single retreat that I do, I know I look younger. I know I feel younger. I know it's like this space to just give full attention to me and just do only things that are nourishing to me, only things that are inviting this introspection, and only things that are actually really like softening my heart, softening my body, softening my being, connecting me to my femininity, connecting me to my body, connecting me to my eroticism, because this is what happens naturally. And this is what I see happening in my work. It's like one of the main pillars of my work is this erotic embodiment and sacred sexuality. So you get to, when you are in my spaces, you get to really connect to that life force, that original energy that's moving through you, the raw energy of creation that's moving through you. And that is extremely rejuvenating, extremely nourishing. And with this nourishment, I literally see, like in myself, every time after I take this time to unplug, just connect to myself, be in the retreat space myself, I see like, literally this youthfulness in my face. And even my eyes change color, even my skin changes color, like lines get smoother in my face and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool, like really direct benefits for the body. And then, last but not least, the third gift that I received from being a participant in retreats is expanded states of consciousness. And that is really fun. This is really, really fun. This is when I receive feedback from my participants that they say, who needs drugs? Why go and try to induce those states of consciousness through the use of something, or through parties, or through even medicines and so on, when you can actually access those states just by connecting to yourself and just by doing the work and the practices. And one of the the very first time when I had expanded state of consciousness, it happened in a retreat. It happened in 2010, and I was a participant in this retreat, a silent retreat, and it was all based on meditation. And there are different ways to meditate. Like in my retreats, I tell to my participants all the time, like, you don't need to explain what we're doing, just say that we are meditating. Although there are so many different things we're doing, and we are moving a lot, and we are sharing, we're talking, and there are different exercises and practices and introspection and all the things. But I say, like, for the simplicity of it, just call it meditation. All the different ways to meditate. Because what it means to meditate is just to really bring your full presence into the moment. And that's what we are practicing. And when you are doing that, you are activating the light of consciousness that is your true essence. And so in that retreat that I was attending, the very first one, I remember I was so impressed by the people who were so committed to their practice, who were just dedicated to practice who were there, like really so serious, so devoted, and I would be like, oh my gosh, when is it gonna end? I'm already missing to talk to my friends, like what is going on? Like I can like it didn't make a lot of sense to me, although I had those big epiphanies, but still I was like, okay, I still hope that like when it's gonna end soon. Let's make it end pretty soon, okay? Like I miss my normal life. But then one day something happened that completely changed everything for me, that changed my whole entire life actually, that set me on the path which I am walking now. And that was a moment, just a moment, when everyone left the hall. We were in this meditation hall, and everyone left the hall. And I was after practice, and I just felt to rest a little bit. And I leaned back, there was a pillar behind me. I leaned back and I was just looking around. And suddenly, something happened. Suddenly, I entered into a very specific experience that back then I didn't really have words for. All I was experiencing was so much joy. Joy that I did not taste before. So I just started to laugh and cry all at the same time. And I couldn't feel my body. I could not feel any restrictions in my body from sitting or whatever kind of position I was taking. I could not feel the environment around me. There was nothing. There was just this joy and peace. That was it. That was all I felt. And I was in this state, I don't even know how long I was there. I was maybe 30 seconds, maybe it was 30 minutes, I don't know. Because now, looking back, like I can, with my awareness now, I know what happened. But back then I did not. Back then I was just, huh? What just happened? And then I got up, and then I walked out, and then I got some food, and I was like, oh my gosh, this was incredible. Now I get it. Now I understand why all these people are so serious. Like they are probably all experiencing that. This is incredible. And now, with my knowledge now and my experience now, I can say that it was a higher state of consciousness, a state of samadhi, a state of where there's thoughtlessness, there are no thoughts. It's a state without thoughts, which is a very rare state for a human being. It's a thoughtless state, it's a state of freedom, it's a state of bliss, it's a state of ecstasy. So I experienced that completely spontaneously, and I was so lit up by that, it changed my life. After that, I knew I touched something that I was searching for my entire life. I touched that freedom. I knew that what I touched there was something that that my friend who died previously, who died a few years ago, who referred to that state, but he didn't know how to get to that state without drugs. Because he used to, it was a very close friend of mine, he's a big part of my story. His death, he died from drug overdose, and his death completely shook my life. That was in 2008. And one day I asked him, because I found out that he was using heroin, and I asked him, why are you doing it? Because one day he called me when he was under influence of it, and I could not recognize him. It was so weird. The state from which he was speaking was so incredibly weird. It didn't feel like him. I could not name it, but it just felt terrible for me to connect to him from this place. And then I asked him, why are you taking this? This is terrible. This is changing you. This is making you some sort of beast. It's not you. And he told me this thing: you never tried, you will never know. That's it. That's all he told me. And then he also told me something like, there are no heroin addicts, because when you go there once, you cannot go back. And I couldn't understand. I was like, oh my gosh. And then, yeah, unfortunately, he actually died from his overdose or for taking something that was not right for him. And so later, and it was a massive process for me, obviously, and then later in my spiritual search, and then finally having that experience, that taste, that I don't even know how long it lasted, I understood also that. I understood that he was tasting some form of bliss that he didn't know how else to find. And then for me, this experience, without absolutely any substance, having direct experience, which actually lasted quite a while, and I started to understand that I actually can induce this experience. I can have it. It is mine. It is not because I am influenced by some external thing, be it medicine or some drug or something. It's actually inside of me. I produce it. Even more so now, I can tell you, it's actually our natural state. But we create so many barriers. And so that's why when we are in retreat spaces, when we drop all these barriers, when we really sit in this honesty with ourselves, when we don't allow ourselves to be pulled by distractions and by patterns and by traumas and by codependent tendencies and this and that, when we really are there honestly with ourselves, when there's nowhere to hide, no TV to dissociate into, no social media to dissociate into, no overeating possible, like you are there just with the rawness of you. Yeah, of course you are also there with a group. The group is also reflecting things, and you are held and you are really, really safe. So the nervous system also enters into a really harmonious state where even more is available, more of our naturalness, more of our natural state becomes available. And so these heightened states of consciousness, they are really, really normal in retreats that I run. Yeah, people tell me that some of their biggest experiences of consciousness happened in my immersions, because I know the value of that. I know how to create a space. I know how to hold a space for that. I know how to invite my people into that, because I know how profoundly it changed my life. It set me on the path, that one experience in 2010, because then like I was doing some yoga, I was doing some things. I was like, okay, well, I know what it is about. I know the spirituality thing. I did not. Until I had that experience, I did not. Until we have direct experiences of God, because this is what it is, we don't know anything about spirituality. We just have ideas. But having those experiences is essential, because you really meet yourself as you are, directly, without any veils. You are there with you, in the intimacy of you. And this is priceless. So that set me on the path, and I haven't been looking back. Sometimes people are like, oh, how do I weave in my spiritual life into my human normal life, because my surroundings are like that and my job is like this, and here is me. I know I am a priestess, and I know I have that capacity to really like connect to something really grandiose. I know deep inside there is this intimacy, there is this spiritual depth inside of me, but how do I bring it into my life? And all these questions fall away. All these questions fall away when you really meet yourself. There is no turning back. Then you start to ask yourself, how do I weave my life into my spirituality? Not vice versa. Because you see that's who you actually are. And these experiences are priceless for that. Yeah, so it feels delightful to share all this as we are feeling so alive in the field of mystery immersion in Costa Rica. There are 18 beautiful women who are a part of it. My beautiful temple team is so strong, is so vibrant, so ready to hold space for these miracles. And just in a couple of hours I'm meeting them, also all the participants. We're doing some preparation work. They're also all doing embodied wealth work right now, and some big breakthroughs are happening around that as well. So much permission for wealth, so much permission for financial abundance that's happening, and all as a part of our supreme path, as a part of us fulfilling our supreme destiny. So we actually, the retreat is actually full, like it's like the amount of people that I wanted to have with the accommodation that I thought we had is full. But recently the retreat center told us that they actually have 3 more additional spaces, single spaces with gorgeous sea view that they can actually offer us. And then I actually felt that there are 3 more women who want to come in. So that's why I am just holding space for these 3 women who are perfectly aligned, for whom this is perfectly right, who feel me, who feel this work, who really want to dedicate this time to their femininity, to their spirituality, to their unleashing of the queen, unleashing of this powerful woman who is here to be all that she is for her, first of all, but then also shine as the bright light for all the ones she loves. And so that's why we have those 3 spots that are possibly open. So the registration closes today, actually. So if you know you want to be there, don't wait any longer, just reach out and we will enroll you today. So this is delightful. Sometimes people are asking me when are the next retreats. I don't know. Honestly, there is nothing yet scheduled. So this is the time. We are meeting together next Sunday in Costa Rica. Oh my gosh, in an absolutely exquisite environment, in an absolutely exquisite retreat center that I feel personally so happy to go to, and the people who are working there, the environment, the exquisite beauty that is there, is just so nourishing for my own soul, and actually was really healing for me when I went there just a few months ago to check it out and to connect with the people and with the land. So you get the information to sign up in the link in my bio. There's a link and you can go directly there. And you can also DM me on Instagram and I will respond, or my team will respond to you. So thank you for being here. Thank you for this connection in this precious now. If you don't want to do the in-person work, if you're not ready to travel and do something like that, the next online online program that I'm holding will be the Deep Feminine. It's a very powerful program of mine. These are my flowers, and we have a wait list for it. So you can go ahead and sign up for the wait list, and when it's open, you will be the first to know. So that's available if you don't want to travel. But if you're ready to travel, we have the possible 3 spots. And thank you for being here.